So AI has taken the country, or in fact, the world by storm. And we live in an area, in a world of technology explosion. So definitely, all of us, that is educationists as well as the teachers, need a new mindset, a new skill set, and a new toolkit
Munnar and all children had to go to the top of the hill
to even get the
net connection.
the net connection. It's not.
They survive with what they have just for the purpose of educating themselves. I think there were a bunch of children who were wrongly misusing this net connection, or that's the other side.
Hello and welcome to Leaders in Learning, the podcast where we bring you valuable insights from educational leaders. I'm Adheena Mariam, Psychologist and Director, Student Initiatives and Enrollment at Ashoka World School, and I'm your host for today. Today, I'm thrilled to have you join us as we explore the latest trends, challenges, and opportunities in education. Today, in our very first episode, we'll be diving into the future of education, NEP, student behavior, and the forever evolving landscape of education. With me, I have a esteemed guest of panelists, and I'm really happy and honored to welcome all of them. So, our first guest for today is Pratibha V, Principal of Chinmaya Vadadala. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
A distinguished educational leader with multiple awards to her credit. So, her CV was very exhaustive with a lot of awards, and to name one award that she won from that is she was awarded the Global Principal Award by the Center of Education Development Foundation. And my second guest for the day, I have Elizabeth Matthew. She is the principal of Rajagiri Seashore Vipin, and she is a proud alumnus of Madras Christian College with over 20 years of experience as an educator. And next on, I have Mr. Vinumon K. Matthew. He is a principal of Kochi Refinery School, an accomplished and talented educator with over 25 years of experience. And he has led multiple well-known schools in Cochin city. And he's a leader who's focused on the outcome, and his main area of strength is academic excellence and continuous improvement. Next, we have Srija Thomas, principal of Ashoka World School, a renowned educator, and she's well known for her capability for being a change maker in startup school, and two of which she has led to success. We welcome you also, ma'am. Thank you all for being here today, and we have a lot to discuss. So let's dive right in. So during COVID, so if you look back, when COVID started, we had a lot of options, lot of digital learning platforms or teaching aids that was used in the classroom. But as we resumed back to regular schooling, a lot of them have disappeared from the screen. So where do you see the role of digital learning or AI in the next 5 years? That is in terms of lesson planning or teacher training, or how we go about with collaborative work, that is assigning work to students. How do you see the future of that?
Actually, digital learning is a part of the 21st century skills, which involves not just life skills, but also media literacy, technology literacy, along with, of course, cognitive skills. So we cannot say no to digital education, even though we happen to be in the post-COVID stages. So AI has taken the country, or in fact, the world by storm. And we live in an area, in a world of technology explosion. So definitely all of us, that is educationists as well as the teachers, need a new mindset, a new skill set, and a new toolkit to address the students. We definitely need strategies to foster innovation. Then, of course, strategies to enhance incentiveness and to address innovation. The first thing I would say is that AI should be a part of the general curriculum, not just only the AI classes or just the digital classes or the computer classes. It should be integrated into all the possible subjects wherever required, such that students are aware of ChatGPT, for that matter, the AI, I think the humanoids and things like the robots and robotics labs, wherever they are able to make they give their input, such that they be able to incorporate it into the common concepts of curriculum. So this is a must as of now. And I don't know if people are aware that in Dubai recently, I think the Dubai government has told that I think it is Dubai only, they have told that all the teachers need to be trained in AI.
True.
So that,
yes.
AI, so that they be able to integrate AI along with the mainstream curriculum. So that is happening now. If at all you're not equipped digitally, you cannot be a teacher. Although we know that no sophisticated tool on earth can ever take the place of a teacher in the classroom, because she actually decides the emotional climate there. But still, technology cannot take a back seat, because in these current days, the children happening to be digital natives, while we being immigrants cannot happen at all. If at all we have to progress, we have to move with the flow, adapt, change. Change is the only and constant means for development, and that is definitely required. So wherever possible, however possible, now I think there's panel boards also. Earlier we used to have the smart boards. The smart boards have changed. Now we have the interactive boards. And the interactive boards, again, there are so many. There are so many in the market, and depending upon the kind of versions that we have, the Windows operating system, or whether, if at all, it is an Android version. If it doesn't have, they also are actually each time progressing such a way, evolving such a way that they be able to input or adjust it to the needs of the current students. And second thing, since all the students are hitched to the social media as well as technology, if at all we do not also progress and as well as adapt and adopt changes, automatically it will be that the students will go far ahead and they lose interest also in education, is my take on this now.
True. I think teachers need to be on the same level, no? Like with students.
The question is, will the teachers remain relevant? That will be the biggest challenge, because, as Pratibha ma'am rightly said, we are immigrants to this technology. They have born in the technology. So unless and until we can ensure that our teachers are along with them, after some time the children will not, accept our teachers. That becomes a huge problem. So training has to happen, and our teachers should be willing to change from what they've been doing very successfully for the past 20-25 years maybe, because in another 5 years things will be very, very different, and this is the time for the change. And that is why CBSE, even the state government, ma'am, you were talking about Dubai, my wife is a state government teacher. They've been having AI training now. They've been introduced to so many websites from where they can collect data, use that in the classroom. So our country also has started working on it, but ours is a much bigger crowd. It's a huge population. So it's not easy to get it done. But teachers, for them becoming relevant in this scenario, they have to change.
And especially for older children, teachers have to look cool. Like
very true,
you
very
can't.
true.
Yeah.
Very true.
But as far sir and ma'am was telling, but infrastructure in school has to be established. The CBSE wants skill labs in school. That is one step for creating such robotics labs and AI labs in the school. So unless we have an opportunity or a place to experience and learn and show, or that showcase that, there is no, I don't think it will go. So where is the finance for all this coming from? That is also a matter, isn't it? So money has to be put in. So education becomes it's little become expensive as well. So we think of all digital thing, but how about getting all this done is another.
Yes. Even the tiniest robotic kit is very expensive. Yes.
And those things we have to look into. And what is all these digital things are making them whether they are what I feel is, when there is given a task to do, they depend on AI and chat GTP and to complete the task.
That is also there. They lose their creativity,
their
and
natural ability that the brain has. They're now dependent on so many things, and emotions also. There are changes in the emotions that generally the children are showing right now, isn't it? That is what so all these have all positive things. It makes our life comfortable, easy. Even lesson, you're talking about the lesson plan. You just type a topic, photosynthesis, you get the learning outcomes. N number of learning outcome. No teacher has to look into what is my children are going to get. After my lesson, what is the children going to get? These are things. So making things so easy, but how are we evolving as?
You just have to give the right prompt. You can just ask for like a 20-minute lesson plan with
whatever. But this thing, in the sense that teachers are getting everything on hand, so they don't have to also making things comfortable for us. But what is the end result of this? Whether we are evolving into something superhuman or something that has to also be
that ethics is a big question, no?
Bringing this national or revamping an NEP is to make our children face future or make them future ready. So what's happened is the relevance of the knowledge being imparted into the classroom is getting lesser, because they can access knowledge anywhere, anytime.
Yes.
So the skill sets are now more important. That is where, as Pratibha ma'am said, your digital skill sets, your communication skill
Skills.
sets, all that comes in. I think CBSE is moving in the right direction in that regard. I think that is where the 3-language formula comes in.
Formulas come in.
That's coming because I'll give you an example. My son is now studying in Goa. He was studying in a school here. He is excellent in English. Now he's studying in a place where he has children from all over the country.
Right.
Now he's finding it a bit difficult because he's not very good in Hindi. He's very, very, very well versed in Malayalam and English. Now he's forced to work in another part of the country and he has a problem. Now he's slowly, working on his Hindi now.
Yeah.
So if that can be done in school, he's one step ahead. So that is the idea of bringing in more indigenous languages into our school system. But the focus, if it's on A1 grades and marks, then it becomes a challenge.
But that again has a difference, no? Because while we were speaking to, so we offer French, and when we were speaking to the language trainer, so she was mentioning how spoken English or French is taught very differently than what is done inside a classroom. Inside a classroom, we start with a lot of rules and everything, but spoken French or English is not done in the same manner.
Okay.
So I feel there should be a difference in how that is
Taught
to the children also,
Okay.
languages, because
we're giving too much stress to the written part and the reading
Written
part. It
part
should be
and-
more of conversation.
Conversation. Conference
But I
speaking.
think CBSE is moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Pratibha ma'am can actually add to that because
Yeah, actually,
she is
it
a
is,
language teacher.
that's a language teacher. Yeah, considering that I'm a language teacher also, definitely, yes, the CBC is going the right track, right direction, everything right. But ultimately, see, India is a very diverse country. And then we are lucky to be in the city locales and things like that. But then what about the kids who live in the rural areas? Kids who live in the outskirts, kids who have no access to the the right kind of education with the technology as well as the infrastructure that Elizabeth was mentioning. What about those kids? Are they able to access this technology, like how you say the chat GPT as well as whatever you say, let it be any kind of digital tool. Does it reach them?
Yeah, that
It doesn't.
Munnar and all children had to go to the top of the hill to get the
Get the net connection.
Right. The net
during
connection
during COVID time. They had
Yeah.
to climb a tree to get the
Okay.
net connection.
And then, that was there. So actually, 2 years of their learning has gone. There are learning gaps there because
Yes.
they were unable to access, and they probably did not even effort to have a computer or, for that matter, a lab, maybe mobiles also. Probably the parents could not have there. So again, this digital learning or the learning via computer or these online courses will not reach every nook and cranny of the country at all. Only the elite or maybe only the privileged class probably can access it.
The accessibility and teacher training
Is
are
also,
concerns, no?
both.
I think when there are children who are struggling to get the net connection and they survive with what they have just for the purpose of educating themselves, I think there were a bunch of children who were wrongly misusing this net connection, or that's the other side. So I think we at Ashoka, we were just thoughtful about it, where children are not guided in the right way for the online sectors and all that. So we were able to launch the Quetta 30 program, where the children had opportunity to learn the ethics of online classes or online, whatever they do. Maybe they're even using a social media. We not stop them using an account, an Instagram account or a FB account. So how do they use that in a very genuine way or in the right purpose? And also, I think technology has grown so much that children know much more than us. They know how to do things. And as yes, sir and ma'am are telling, teachers need to be trained. But at the same time, are the children getting exposure to do projects online? Do they have an opportunity to do some project through a Canva or through Mentimeter or anything? That is very rare because a teacher is not equipped for that. So obviously a teacher training is required there for them to know how to inculcate that into their lesson plans and then make the children work on it. Only when they get that exposure, they are taken to the right path to do, okay, I have to use the online platforms in this way for my educative purpose. So I think that is where all schools have to focus and guide the children in the right way is what I feel.
So, speaking of that, like if I'm a child, I can just type in my prompt to ChatGPT and I can just hand over my
project all comes out.
just like as
Exactly,
I've
that's
done
what
that.
exactly Elizabeth said. So it becomes so easy, and then where is the development of the child's
the thing is, we must
creativity?
design projects which will not let them do this.
Like,
For
that's
example,
exactly.
they like making reels. I'm a chemistry teacher basically. I can give them a project where make a reel on a particular aspect of structure of atom. So it's what they like doing, but at the same time, learning will happen. They can't simply go to ChatGPT and get that. It has to be his creative work. That is what she was telling in the beginning. The creativity aspect is very important in the future. So that is one of the most important 20th, 21st century
So
skills.
the 4 Cs
Yeah,
of the
4 Cs. So it's very, very
creativity, yeah.
important. So it's about designing
Design
programs,
thinking.
designing programs so that children are forced to think differently.
That is, it's not a time of invention anymore. It is innovations. It's an era of innovation. So definitely, children should be exposed
Given
to,
opportunity.
given opportunity to think differently in the same
To
area and
create.
create from the same area.
To adapt.
And children, because of their exposure, like you just said, I think they know a lot more than what they should know. Maybe for a last day, I heard a 6-year-old talk about depression and stress and everything, because these are not words that you expect from a 6 or 7-year-old. And when we were children, we don't even know what depression is. So do you think in this fast paced world that the mental health is taking a toll on children?
Of course. Of course. Because there is one mobile addiction is something that is
Gadget
needs,
addiction.
gadget addiction is something which needs medical help. Yes, that is there are cases like
Rehabilitation and counseling and all are required for them to be weaned off from gadgets. That's also there. And then that parents are also so busy going to work, they have no time for the students. That peer pressure is also there. They get through gadgets, and there are many parents who tell that whole of the night the boy is chatting online or engaged in these online games.
Gaming
Whatever
is
it is,
becoming a huge problem.
gaming. So that's also happening, and they are unable to take the child, and he turns violent. The parent forcibly takes the
So I think there are two issues. One is when we give them a online homework or give them something to do online, then I feel children would use that as a
yes,
excuse to get
absolutely.
more closer with
gadgets.
So that is also an issue where how to implement and how to
Absolutely.
make sure that ethics
Correct.
stay
So
in proper place.
correct. Technology is like a double-edged sword. You need it, but then you should not overuse it also. And
True.
they should know exactly where to draw the line. That is the students, the parents, as well as teachers, which is a very Herculean task, because children are so easily influenced. And when there's so much that technology offers, good and bad content, because the mind generally, the human mind generally tends to always waver towards what is negative. So that can happen only through value education and ethical, that is teaching of ethics and things like that. But we do not know again whether it will cater to all types of students at all levels. And that again depends about the background, the genes, the environment, several things. So I cannot tell you at what pace we are going, where we need to draw lines. That is where we actually need training, where to tell no, where to tell stop. But then one thing what Vinamon sir said was right. You don't give them opportunities to actually try this chat GPT where everything is ready-made. Or for that matter, where instead you give them opportunities or programs or projects such that they are forced to use their hands and their brains, which are not available elsewhere. They might be able to get the tips from somewhere, but ultimately they have to use it.
I think even if we as teachers, if we give them a question, maybe we can ourselves go and type that prompt in and see what are the options that come.
Yes, possibly, yes.
So that we know, okay, so if
this
I
is
give
what is
this
taken
question,
from,
yes.
This is what's
so that
taken
is
from.
another way that teachers can also get trained
Yeah.
without.
No, that is the main thing, ma'am. I mean, teachers also need to try out things before they go to the children. They can't simply blindly give a project.
Just serve this particular link, go to that particular link, or go to that particular site.
That is not going to serve the purpose. She should actually look at all the pros and cons of giving that project to the child.
And ma'am was mentioning about the environment. We tell them not to overuse is harming you, all those things. Advice, ethics is given at school. Cyber security, people have
talks are there. Yes.
And going home, there is nobody to monitor. They are going alone. They're being alone, and nobody in the neighborhood to play with.
If they were engaged in some other healthy activity, some other interesting activity, obviously they could be weaned off from the computer. Now the computer has so many interesting things.
parents are also in the same mode.
Mm.
They are also
Into the mobile
device
phone
addicted.
throughout.
So it becomes a huge challenge. I mean, how can we tell the child not to use the mobile when you are always on the mobile?
Mobile. And
That
if
has
even a
become a huge
2-year-old
problem.
child go to the hospital, the parent
yes.
wants to
Very
keep the
true.
2-year-old child
You give them a
quiet,
mobile.
the mobile is given.
Yes.
He or she is able to operate the mobile, a 2-year-old, a very
Right from
costly
the time
iPhone.
you're a toddler
Yeah.
to have food, they give the mobile. I
Mobile.
know we see this whenever we go to some functions. I have seen babies handed the mobile so that silently he has the food. So it starts like that. Then it becomes a problem.
And the learning disability, reason for the increase of learning disability, attention span, less attention span, etc., are the usage of mobile right from
Yeah.
that is
Yes.
from the
They are unable to sit quiet because even before they sit, they want the mobile phone.
Very true.
Because children, like Sir was saying, they are always, parents are trying to keep them engaged with something. Never is a child left to be bored. Like only when children are bored do they find things to play with, or they make games out of normal things that you find with rocks or stones or paper pieces or anything. And like ma'am just mentioned, like attention span, I think attention span and discipline is something that has taken a huge hit. Like first there was COVID, there's learning gap, and now with a lot of AI intervention or technology as such. So what are the few things that you observed in classroom when it comes to attention span and discipline, or in general in what you've observed in students?
It has definitely gone for a toss. The discipline has definitely gone for a toss. And more than discipline going for a toss because of technology intervention and things like that, we have also rules which tells us no corporal punishment, no mental harassment, mental torture. You're not allowed to scold the child. You're not allowed to chide the child for anything. Yet everything the parents take it negatively, or then again they come complaining. So automatically the teachers are also a little scared and wary about telling things or using their power to put the children under control. So automatically we go with the flow as far as possible. But then there are certain measures that we do take, like we cut off the game spirit, which is not at all right. At times we say that you will not be taken for the picnic and things like that, but still to a certain extent we're able to control. But then by and large, children are children, wherever it is, whichever place it is, they will continue to do the same thing, however it is.
True. And that life skills among children have come down considerably because of this. So the resilience and the tolerance that they should be having, it's not there. So
Nobody is telling them,
Nobody.
ma'am. Nobody. I'll tell you one incident which happened recently in one of the engineering colleges. He's a final year student. He got placed in one of the premium companies, and he lost one paper in his final sem
Okay.
by a few marks.
Right.
He was in his room. He saw the result on the laptop. He hanged himself.
Oof.
But the problem is, he could have simply sent that one paper for reevaluation. He didn't
would have
even
got
have to
that.
write that again, but he
Yeah.
didn't even bother to ask. He thought about what would happen if the job goes. He was worried. It was a very good job in a very good company. So he was worried about the job, and he didn't even, reach out to anyone. So what I try to insist to my children is, see, whatever the crisis, you may have gone and killed someone. Doesn't matter. Your parents are there. Go back to them. And I tell the parents that channel should be always open.
Open.
Whatever your child does, you should have the channel open that they can come back
back
to
and
you.
tell
They
you,
come
yes.
back to you. Come back to you
Confide.
saying that,
Hold on, yeah.
see, I've done this. If that is there, then we can help them. So this is something I always tell my parents and my children, because it's very unfortunate that the resilience has gone down very badly. Very badly.
connection with the real world, that is
Yes.
the real nature and the people around. Even at home, who used to talk, communication has come down. Earlier it was grandparenting time, where grandparents, I remember my childhood where my grandfather sits during the dinner time, gives us lot of stories. Where is the storytelling at home?
True.
There's nobody at home to tell. So communication at home has come down. And that connection with that nature, where is the children going? And we used to see ornament doll. It was a great fun for us, collecting
To pick class, collect.
and making see so many things. So connection with real world has come, and they're more connected to the real world. So there is so much of behavioral changes, emotional instability, etc., in children, which of course, as we have to accept it also. In that way, you have to, and we should be more tolerant with that. We learn patience, and we learn all kinds of. I think we improve our life skills dealing them. Patience and tolerance and all this. It should be there with us, with the teachers as well. As ma'am was telling, we cannot punish them. What can we do?
Children are also not independent. They are not able to carry themselves. Like till school, they are pampered from the school as well as by the parents. They don't know how to survive by themselves. So it is very difficult for them when they're thrown out to a college or a hostel.
Yeah.
How should they do certain things? The basic needs, probably. That is something which they are.
That is where the life skills come in. That is why we have to teach them that also.
Train them, give them exposures. I think life skill not only in school but also at home is
Homes,
something
very important.
very important, because mothers themselves don't allow the child to carry their plate and leave it in the zinc, or they don't allow them to clean a place. It is very, very difficult. So I think getting all those stuff, getting it done through the parents also will help us make them keep their classrooms clean. So the parents don't feel, why are you making my child keep the classroom clean? He doesn't even touch a plate at home. So first, I think we must make the parents do that. And we have started off that at school, asking the parents to do, giving them a small amount for that. If they clean the room, give them 5 rupees. Or if they are washing their plates, give them 10 rupees. So they collect that amount that can be given for a charity.
That's debatable.
That even I don't agree.
That's debatable.
I don't
because,
agree on that anyway. That is
rewards may backfire.
Yeah.
In the long run, it may
But
backfire.
I think parents must put it in the right.
I understood.
Tell them and then make them do that.
Monetary rewards can become a huge problem later on.
Yeah.
Because children will anticipate
For any little thing that they do,
they'll anticipate
they'll
reward.
want
That
some
becomes-
monetary reward.
But this is kind of a motivation, is what we have told them, the children and the parents, so that they can do that and that they use.
You can
for
tell them we'll
charity
take you for a
purpose.
movie or something like that. They do some big tasks.
Make them. They have to make them feel that they're part of the family. It's all part
Yes,
of my
yes, part of their work.
survival as well. My family has to go, so I should be doing this. I am helping my mother because mother works. All this
Appreciation.
Yeah.
Appreciation.
Instead of monetary benefits,
Even in early childhood education, there is this part where you learn about self and surrounding. I don't think the children have understood it in that manner, because from the time that they start school, they have very less time to go around things. Like they start with the ABCDs and phonetics, and then they learn a lot of things, and then 2 or 3 years of kindergarten just flies up, and then they're in grade 1. From then it is a what do I say? It's a rat race till grade 12. So now that we've spoken about life skills and resilience and how children should be molded from a young age, like how do you think the education right now is helping children? So just gave an example on how that a brilliant student who could not handle uh, a shortage of 4 or 5 marks in an examination. So how do you think we would prepare them for workforce? Because work is not easy. You have a lot of setbacks. Even attending an interview, you might not be accepted. Or even once you get into the job, it is very difficult to actually, plan your day and go around your things. And if you hear scoldings from somebody, how do you take that? And even the work ethic right now has taken a back toll. I think universally, if you go through different articles, not just in education sector, every different sector, there is a issue with the work ethic of people, especially after COVID. So how do you think we as educators are preparing children for a work life, to balance everything?
see, organizing programs in schools. That is one part. The CBSE also. See, Teachers' Day is coming up. So I told the Senate members, you are going to host it.
Even ask them.
Yeah. So this is last year also it was done, and from zero they have to start.
Yeah.
But they're stuck many areas. They're stuck. They can't move. What is it? But then when teacher in charge of it was asking them, ma'am, we don't have an experience doing it. We have not got an experience conducting it like this. So we are doing it for the first time. So such work, when you divide the work at school, at home, etc., taking them, it's a lot of setbacks. You have to accept that. And with that practice, that so being into, that is why CBSE is talking about taking them to visit the artisans in the locality and see how they work. They should have industrial visits, feel what is to field trips. That is the knowledge and how you apply knowledge. So industrial visits earlier was only in college times. Now it has come to the schools. So go to the industrial areas and see how they work. Application of knowledge comes. So that has to come I mean, from the school level, it's
At each level, it's not just the Senate members, in every class, every level, different grades, depending upon which class they are, you give them small projects where the students themselves perform. You let them go about doing some tasks such that they this kind of self-confidence, abilities, team working skills, all this they develop, collaboration, everything they develop. And even if there are setbacks, or even if they feel if the program, or for that matter the project does not turn out well, there is appreciation and encouragement that is required. And corrections, of course, yes. And then you have to keep giving them the positive reinforcement that it is okay even if it is not wrong. With every single passing moment and every single experience, you are learning better. So next time it's okay, fine. Even if you don't win a prize, it's absolutely okay, as long as you have performed your task well, you have given your best. So that kind of a what do you call suggestion, not suggest, it should not be just suggestive. That kind of a reinforcement is required right from the lower classes, so that they grow up knowing that. And it is not just from our side, from the parental side also is very important, because they definitely are the people at home with whom the kids are throughout, more than the teachers there. So that we'll have to give the awareness to the parents also during our parents meeting and PT, etc., that this has to happen. Even if it is not in their genes to do so, they'll have to change for the sake of the child.
So, like,
That's all.
this hosting this events or conducting a school program is actually a real life 21st
It is
century
very 21st
learning
century
there.
And they'll
learning,
make
yes.
mistakes.
Yeah, let them.
Let them make those mistakes.
Let them make mistakes. It's okay. It's okay. We organize. We have bake sales in our school done only by standard 6 students or 7 students. Now, like how she said, we have the Senate members at the student council, the Teachers' Day program. Then we have the Chaitanya, the Inter-School Cultural Fest, done only with the 11th standard students. Of course, the teachers are there to assist and help, but it is run completely by the 11th standard students. And they really become very smart, every single thing.
Yes.
Even the assembly programs have told them to run the show. And don't have a teacher to tell what's to be done. Let them run the show. No problem if there's a mistake here and there.
And for that, ma'am was mentioning there are activities where they have to go and buy materials, and they all those like cooking ingredients, etc. And they have to divide money among themselves.
Okay.
Financial literacy.
Yes.
That's something.
Budgeting,
And
that's
how
one
do
of
you
those,
budget
yeah.
and allocate
Financial
things?
literacy,
It's
there,
a good feedback from
time
them.
management, resilience. These are the 3 important factors that children need to be taught right from when they are in school.
This is something which we tried this year in our school also, with the financial literacy and how they budget and how they work on the product sale, how they campaign, how they do the digital marketing. So all those aspects is something which we tried. And as ma'am said, children were like, they were making mistakes, they were trying to learn a lot of things, but I think they were able to successfully do it, and they were very happy that they were able to achieve it. So I think we have to give opportunities for them to explore such things, and that's where the skills.
Does this fall under the bagless day that NEP talks about? Like,
Yeah, the bagless days are there. 10 bagless days are actually as stipulated by the board. And I think 6 to 8 are supposed to have these artisans in various fields to come over to school and explain whatever they do. And or else these kids can be taken over for a visit also. Either ways, interns. That's also there.
See, the fact is that we've always had bagless
days.
The
Exactly.
only thing is CBSE is now streamlined that and made it in a
Give
more
it a name and
organized manner.
nomenclature,
That is
that's
all.
it,
Because we even during our school days, we have days where we just walk into school. It could be a sports
It's
day.
all- exact
It could be
sports
a
day, yes,
it could be a cultural
culturals,
festival.
so-
Those are
Okay.
actually bagless
Bagless
days.
days.
But now,
culturals and
if
literary
it's a
fest.
school which is so stringent on academics, and where CBSE wants to ensure that that happens in all schools equally. I think that is why it's come as a
Rule.
program. It's a
Rule,
rule
that's it.
itself.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Has to
most of our schools, and we always have had bagless days.
So on these days, what do you expect? I'm just to asking, but see, even in a sports day, they bring their they're carrying their bag with their jersey, etc. So what is it? Is it a
Without
no
books.
book?
No,
No
no,
book day,
bagless
that's
means
what they mean.
I think they mentioned no
it's
book
not a day
day.
for
Yes.
classroom academics.
Yeah,
No
that is
academics.
no books at all.
It's like, I don't know whether you've come across a reel where there was a bagless day somewhere and children did not bring bags, but rather they brought their lunch and everything in a bucket.
That is up there. That is
In
what it is.
things like that,
Be reworded, I think.
I think they
Without
meant a
books.
bookless
But then we
day.
send the circular like that. They need not carry books. They need to carry only lunch and water.
Yes.
So it is bagless is something that is yeah, that as a
Here, the bag resonates with your textbooks and notebooks.
Notebooks.
that is what.
So I think bagless day and like CBC and NEP is implementing a lot of things. And one thing that a lot of parents have question is regarding the age of entry to grade 1. has age 6.
Yeah.
So, what is your take on it? Has keeping age 6 as the entry point to grade 1?
It's creating lots of problems with admission now. That's why, because there are people who want to go, stay in standard one, people who are not willing to go to UKG.
Yes.
And we are also having problem trying to convince them that it is 6 years, and people still telling us that other school took them. And so that is a major issue for us now, this age criteria. But from coming from the child's point of view, anywhere, anytime, if a child is old enough for a class, it's easy for the child. Whether anywhere, whether there's NEP
I
or no
can
NEP.
give you a personal example. My daughter was 3.5 when she joined LKG.
Okay.
My son was 4. It
Mhm.
was just a 6-month gap. But the manner in which my
Yes.
daughter struggled is huge compared to what my son
Yes.
was
True,
doing.
true.
So since I've
Yeah.
personally experienced, I always tell my parents who are coming for admission that, see, there is a huge difference at that time. That
Yes.
6-month gap is a gap.
It is,
Not
yeah.
just
It's a
that time. So I was underage when I went. It was a ICC school,
Okay.
and 3 years. And those days we had this calendar year, Jan to December. I studied in Bangalore, and then we were born in December. And because I was born in December, and my brother was born in August, that is August 28, and both of us were put 1 year ahead because my
Oh,
parents were working.
okay.
You can imagine the struggle that we went through, both of us. Till standard 5, there was no playtime because my mom used to work. She used to come back, and we were sitting with those ICC books right from the evening, right from when we came, both of us this side. And we would
You're
year
of
on
the
and
same
year.
age?
No. He's 4 years younger, but then both
Okay.
of us to study this, and it was extremely difficult. But then after standard 5, of course, we got the rhythm, got into the brain.
Catch up. You
and then we
catch up over a
But
period
then
of
the
time. But the
struggle was
initial
the struggle
is
was
there.
like a tremendous, and that is why, like how sir said, my daughter also I put her only when she was 4 in the KG because I went through the struggle. So even I quote my example. I said the same thing. I was underage, and then we were put in school 1 year ahead. That I think so 3 years means it probably I was only 2.5 when I joined school. And you can imagine all those kids were +3. And they imagine that kind of struggle that I went through right through till grade 5. And it was struggle for my mom also because she was wondering why we were unable to learn and write so much. Those days, ICS, you can know. So now it is definitely diluted. So definitely it is very difficult it used to be. So I suggest that it is always nice if there's a little more overage than underage for a class.
So I think parents have a lot of difficulty accepting that, no? Like he's only 5.
It is because
years.
that is how they've been doing things. They look at the traditional way of
Yeah.
doing things. If you look at Finnish system, for example, their reading writing happens only when they are around 10.
Yes.
Till then, it's not that. It's only about skill development.
Yeah.
So
and then coming to Finland, so like Hausa said, they don't actually think of assessments at all. It's only learning which is
very
focused.
true. Only learning is happening there.
Only learning happens. And in spite of this, at the age of 10, although they learn at the age of 10 reading, writing, it is the Finland which has actually secured the highest grades in the last PISA's exams, 2018. The first 5 places are from the Finland school.
Finnish
and
education.
I think they have Finnish thing, and Finnish education is the best. And I think they have only one standardized examination for the entire lot. I think at the age of 16 or so, it's called the standard matriculation examination. And that is not computerized, that is corrected by people. And which again, it's multidisciplinary. It's not just one subject or in compartments. It's totally one. Right. Despite all this, the kids in Finland are supposed to be the best. Right. How is it? It's possible there and it's not possible here. We do not know.
Are we not making a shift towards that? With
we are trying
we
to.
Talk,
we are trying to. But we have
of India and Finland number in classes.
The number is definitely less.
Population is a factor.
Very less.
And this diversity, see what is the diversity of children that you have in your class?
Correct. Maybe it is not.
Different. Learning abilities are different. Too different.
You cannot cater to all straight of society. Yes, here.
40 or 30 number in class, and then that is all those.
More than that, ma'am, our country is a very unique one. If you have 40 students in a class, at least there are at least 5 different kind of categories from these.
That diversity in the classroom.
Based on religion, based on caste, based on all aspects. So it's more tough for us. It's
that
not
actually is lesser in Kerala because we almost have an almost okay crowd.
True.
But then you go to the other cosmopolitan cities as well as Kendra with realize each child is different. Every different cultures, different languages, different economic backgrounds, every kind you find.
A number there, I think, is 20
in Finland, yes.
In Finland.
Only it's 20. So that
it's
totally different.
And for me, I don't know whether I'm right if I say this, but when I saw the HPC that the board had introduced for kindergarten and foundational stage from pre-KG to grade 2, I thought that is a welcome move. Because there's no particular assessment as such.
Yeah.
Rather, you're observing the child a lot,
Yeah.
which is a little bit like regio philosophy or something, where there's a lot of observation that goes into it, and based on the child's achievement or competency, then you put them what do I say, like a butterfly cocoon
Yeah.
and
So that the
everything.
child, yeah, it is
Ma'am,
encouraging
it's
for the child.
definitely a
Yeah.
welcome move. But as long as we are coming back to marks in 10 and 12, nothing will change.
Yeah.
Because, ultimately, a school, a child is judged on
By
the
how much he
performance
gets
in 10th and 12th.
academically, yeah.
Once that mindset is there, parents will always push towards
Yeah.
that.
And
But-
even the school also, the first thing they look for is what was the last score results that the school garnered for the board exam.
So we as educators, that is there in the back of our mind whenever we plan a program. So that is why 10 and 12, we are always focused on that marks,
Get marks.
to get the marks.
Keep them away from
Keep
all
them
the
away
other
from activities. They don't get most of the privileges which other classes get. We maximize.
No,
we do.
actually, I do.
You
sir.
do,
Till
I know.
October, I tell that.
Till
everybody
October,
must
we
go,
also do.
yeah. Till October, all of them will go.
That continuity doesn't come from the kindergarten to the other classes, because we started off with the ambidextrous handwriting in the kindergarten class where they write with both the hands, but then it is very difficult to move forward to first and second and third because they have their own curriculum and pattern. So obviously the teachers are like, we do this, and the children have so much of interest in doing it, but then they couldn't move. The brain on both
Sides develop equally.
Yes.
Okay.
So the children enjoy doing it, coloring or writing. They enjoy
Yeah, you said handwriting. That's why.
both, everything. They try to write, color, scribble, everything. They start and they do that. But it's very
But it's a
impossible
beginning,
to
ma'am. It's a beginning. I mean, slowly, I'm sure changes will happen
Mm.
because parents have started changing. They've
Yes,
also started
yes.
realizing it's not all about marks.
Marks.
So they've started realizing. So the progress is slow. That is a
Yeah.
problem.
I think parents are also changing, like you said,
Yeah,
and
yes.
a lot of parents have done CBSE education themselves, so they have a fair idea on what a NCRT curriculum comprises of and everything. And I find a lot of parents nowadays reading up about
Yeah,
it,
most
NEP,
yes,
yes, you're
they
right.
read up a
They
lot
read up a
and
lot.
they
Correct.
try to
Yes,
understand. So, and one of the questions that parents would have is like, how can they get involved in their child's education? Because in the lower classes they have an idea like, okay, so this is what is happening and I can get involved in this capacity. But as the grades increase, I think
They take a back seat.
they
Parents, yes,
take a
they
back
don't.
seat, and some parents get lost, and the only option is to go with what the child says. Like we said earlier, if we give them a project, and regardless of whether it has to be done online or on paper, if the child says, Amma, Appa, I have to do it like this, then the parents are not left with an option. They have to.
They do. Yes.
Very few
You're
parents
right.
can support that.
Yes.
Yes. So, what would you suggest for parents? Because I'm sure when we release this, there will be a lot of parents who would want to hear from principals like you on how do they go about things, or how should they get involved. So, what would you share to them?
See, they are okay for like standard 1 to 5, as you rightly said. The parents are there monitoring, checking, looking, everything. But as the grades go higher, the parents are unable to cope up with what is being taught in class. Now, probably I will not know what is happening in the math class. Myself, being an educator, I will not know maths. I know chemistry, physics, and biology. Yes, okay, I can definitely monitor, check, and ask and find out what she's doing or what is required of her. But probably not math. I'll have to depend on external agencies, tuitions, etc. Even if the child tells that she has to do this, she has to do that. Because I'm in the education sector, I might check up with my counterparts. Is this so? Is that not so? But all the parents are not that category. So they will have to go with the flow and whatever the child says. So I could only tell you, the parent probably can ask or be there while the project is on, while the computer is on, and ask, what is this, what is that? I do not know again if the children are patient enough to explain that to the parent. Why should they? Why would they? Amaki Banslav Lama, you won't be able to understand
Especially
teenagers.
No? Yes.
So there, ultimately, whatever happens, here the parents are also, I should say, helpless. Only thing is they can offer support and they can keep checking and monitoring whether it is going in the right direction. And if the child has any difficulties, of course, the parent, definitely the modern day parents, they take extra trouble to find out as to or provide help in any form. Let it be from outsiders, or tuition people, or coaching centers, or professionals, wherever, however. That's how it is.
I was telling till fifth standard, any parent can help the child with all subjects. All subjects they can be handled. But till fifth standard, by the child completes fifth standard, they should know how to learn. They should be equipped to learn themselves, to be on their own feet and then do things.
The method of learning, the
Learning
the parent, the
everything, how
time,
Learning
the
how to
study,
learn.
yeah, the
How
study
they should
time.
learn how to learn. Children should be learning how to learn.
This is a very important point
Yeah.
which she said.
Because not after that, who can who be after that and
Yes.
And actually, at the parents' meeting, which I have once in a year for all the classes across, right from LKG till standard 12, standard 1 to 5, that is KG to 5, I tell them at the parents' meeting that the parent must sit with a child. Not any tuition, but the parent must sit with the child and help him or her learn. And they should write and learn. Till standard 5, they must write and learn. So there are several aspects of being able to write and learn because the brain develops, the learning happens fast. While you read and when you write, the matter, the content impresses in the brain, and the memory is also there. So they tell them the techniques of learning also in the lower classes. And after
That's
5
nice.
onwards, of course, automatically that there is no time to write and learn because the portions are more, the content vast. So automatically they learn to pick up how to learn, what to learn. But then till 7th or 8th, the parent must monitor and ask questions to ensure that the child has learned.
That helps with their
With
spelling.
everything, right? The speed of with which they
Yes.
write, handwriting, everything. And what they need to be writing, how much they need to be writing, as we are addressing all educated parents these days, at least here in Kerala. So,
I think parents must be involved with the school activities also for them to know that this is what the child is doing or this is how it is moving forward. So that, as ma'am said, if we are insisting the parents, if they are a part of the school, I think they will also do a lot more involvement in those things.
We were talking mostly about academics and parenting, but there's another aspect to it also. Knowing your child is very important. I think there should be, as I told you earlier, there should be a channel where you can always talk
communicate
to
with the child.
You
The child
should be
free,
observing
yeah.
the child, find out what skills are the child good at, and maybe promote that, and so that finally you can ensure that your child ends up in a place where she or he will be happy, and a career which will not just be successful, but where the child will be happy. That's very important. You know,
Yes.
now sustaining in any career is
Satisfaction
about
is
being
required.
satisfied and being happy. Otherwise, you drop it now. That is the biggest problem you're facing.
Understanding that aptitude
Oh,
of
very
the child.
true, very true. That is important. So, parent being close to the child, observing the child, and understanding what they need would be very, very important to ensure that they reach at the right place. No, I always tell my children, no, ultimately, when you choose your career, the first priority must be this is something I love doing. I mean, if that is there, rest of the things will happen. Don't worry about the money. Money will come. That is what I always tell them. So, and I think I have so many examples for that too. So I know my children who've, listened to me and done well. They've gone to wild areas, but they've been successful there. Don Vincent was my student.
Okay.
He was obsessed with keyboards right from his 8th standard, 7th standard. He could program a program. Now he's a renowned music director.
Even Anand Chandran was
so many there.
I remember he used to be last in class. And I think it's after retest or something, he passed standard 11. Now he's a great photographer, cinematographer also he is. That Prebam movie and all is his.
Very, very
like
true.
that.
I
So
mean,
they happen to be really prominent figures in society, despite the fact that they did not do well academically.
Here the challenge is parents also must accept that.
Yes.
That would be for that there should be, this closeness is necessary, and open dialogue between children is necessary, especially in the teenage where it's very difficult. You won't be able to accept everything they say, and they are very opinionated these days. So it will be very challenging, but if you keep the channel open, it will definitely benefit the children.
That passion they can always because colleges are offering multidisciplinary courses. So where they have a lot of choice. It was not like in our days, where there was only only +2 when there's group 2, group 3, etc. Nothing like that. It's so much of any universities you go in, you have different multidisciplinary courses you can choose of your passion.
And not only the children have access to all these data, they can actually choose. No, I have children who come and say, sir, there is geology in Dehradun. There's a college for geology in Dehradun. And he finally found how to join, and he joined there and he's happy. I can tell you one very interesting thing which happened this year. A girl child, she came to me and said, I'm joining Maritime University, Pune.
Okay.
I asked her, why do you want to join Maritime University, Pune? She said, it's because I want to go join Merchant Navy. So I know Merchant Navy is a very rigorous kind of thing. Is it? So being a lady, won't you find? I know, sir. I know the rigors. So do you want to become in the shipping field for life? No, sir. I want to become a pilot. So what is the relation? so if I need to earn enough to go for a pilot license, I have to join Merchant Navy
Aviation.
first. So she's joined maritime.
Smart,
She's
no?
she's planned ahead.
Yes.
So
yes.
children are thinking, and
Mm.
parents are supportive, and she's very good in academics. So she's got the admission now. She's doing this what do you say?
Pilot training.
Nautical, no, BSc Nautical Science
Okay.
to join Merchant Navy.
Nice.
Hope it works out for her. But when it was shocking to hear that I actually want to become a pilot, not to.
Yeah, and
not
she
to be.
found her own income for that.
She knows that her parents can't afford it. So
Okay.
that is it. So times are going to be challenging from now on for teachers, for parents, for children too. So we have to equip them, because again the sustainability aspect, how world is changing, that is also a big question mark. I mean, but we have to go on. Show must go on, as we always say.
Still the resources are increasing, but other resources are diminishing. So children have to find space is diminishing. Then so that definitely it's challenging us.
One best way could be, even there are parents amongst us who are into different careers who can come and share their experience to the children, so that the children also get to know about a lot of opportunities through them. There are live examples who are in front of us, so they will feel a little more
There was
comfortable.
a beautiful statement which I got when I went for a seminar. It said, "You are teachers of yesterday trying to teach children of today
tomorrow.
to equip them for tomorrow."
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Which is a very, very interesting,
Yes.
eye-opening statement, actually.
Yes. So I think
that is a challenge.
So I hope our discussion today has resonated with a lot of parents, educators, and few senior students at least. And remember, education is always a journey, and the key is to always stay curious and to stay informed. So with that, we are winding up today's episode of Leaders in Learning. Thank you.